Very good.
The only way to eat it is over the sink. Oh.
Discover more at Viking.com. Are you a young novice or commercial driver in Ontario?
Yeah.
It's not that good, but I was like, but it's fine. Because we're getting the pork cutlet. That's already.
Yeah, I know.
I started the year off finishing A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis is the author of the Narnia series. I didn't know this, but he was a devout Christian. So he had a very clear belief in God, and he spoke about it often. And I knew about him in terms of his work of Narnia, but I didn't know about him as a person. And I found that when I was just looking at books about grief. It's quite short, but I did enjoy it. I guess enjoy isn't the right word. I related to it, I understood it, and I think the way that he writes about the grief of his wife, losing his wife to cancer, was interesting, and I thought a lot of it I could see myself in. Like, I read it at a specific time where, I started reading it at a specific time where it was very relatable, and there are certain things that he says that I just really relate to. In the first chapter, I think it was, he says something along the lines of like, you know, I want to be around people, but I don't want them to talk to me. I would rather they just talk to themselves and I could just be there. And I think that's quite relatable. I really saw myself in that. The second book I read was Julia Armfield's Our Wives Under the Sea. That one was interesting. I got it off of a TikTok recommendation for literary fiction, and I read it pretty fast, if I remember correctly. It's also not very long. It's basically about a couple, Miri and Leah, and Miri is at home. Her wife, Leah, goes to do these underwater excursions. She's like a marine biologist in the sense, and while she's out there, she's in a submarine. You don't hear from her for weeks. And she's supposed to be gone for, I think it's 3 weeks, but she was out for 6 months. And when she comes back, there's just clearly something wrong. She's different. She's acting different. She's physically changing. So you kind of get this thriller. It unravels. I will say that it doesn't necessarily offer any kind of ending that makes you feel like the story is concluded, which might be a spoiler, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was written really beautifully, and you get to know the characters quite well as they explain their past and kind of what happened to lead up to this, but it leaves you on a bit of a cliffhanger in terms of any kind of actual solution, and for that reason I was kind of like, I wish there was something more concrete that happened here, if that makes sense. Finally, I read 640 to Montreal. That one I had high hopes for. I am reading it as a part of a book club. I don't actually know if the book club is still happening. But I don't know. It's a thriller. It's about a writer who her husband gifts her a train ticket to and from Montreal for the day for her to just write and have some time dedicated to writing. And somebody dies on the train and they get stuck in a snowstorm. And just the way everything kind of plays out, I'm just like, this is so far-fetched. And I think that maybe is my issue with a lot of thrillers. Like, they don't necessarily feel clever. They don't feel like whodunit, like, oh my goodness, we're trying to figure it out. And it's a twist that you would never expect. I just feel like a lot of them are a bit, I don't want to say cliche, but they just kind of fall flat, in my opinion. I felt that way about, what was that book called? None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Yeah, you're kind of just like, I guess. Like, I feel like these books are the embodiment of never let them know your next move, almost. But it doesn't feel clever and it doesn't really tie everything up nicely for me. I'm still kind of just like, okay, like, so that happened. I did like that it was a Canadian book and it's based in Toronto and she's going to Montreal. So I did like that. I thought that was interesting. There were some like mentions that were very Toronto-y. Like she keeps talking about Blundstones, the boots. And I thought that was funny because everybody does wear those and they're horrible winter shoes. Right now, I'm reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I finished Babel last year, which I think I spoke about, and I'm liking it so far. I love the idea of getting into a series. I haven't been into a series in a while, but I did just watch all of the Lord of the Rings, which was fun, and we watched The Hobbit. So it's fun being back into like something that has a fandom, if that makes sense. And I'm also reading A Little History of Art by Charlotte Mullins. That one has been something I've kind of been reading casually. I got really into it, but then I stopped reading it because I just needed something a little more fun and not so much nonfiction. I wanted something like a story. So those are my books for now. I'm chugging along. I have a couple other books that I want to read, and I've uploaded to my Kobo, so they're there and ready to go. But yeah, I've been trying to be consistent with my reading, doing it daily, and I'm officially starting The Artist's Way. So I guess this kind of counts. I'm working my way through it. I'm only on week 1, but keep you posted on that.